I was asked recently how to achieve the advertised layout for my meters that I have on Etsy. And because SimHub doesn't really um, show this by default, neither the OLED layout nor a proper setup for LEDs in a round setting. The default configuration for SimHub is more for like a linear configuration that the steering wheels have. So, and while I can show you how to build the layout, we're gonna focus here on downloading the existing layout for both the LEDs and the screen because I've already shared those. The what I'm showing here is on my LED profile is um, an RPM sweep that quickly turns red it's achieving when it's reaching the red line. So what I capture here is pretty much at at a middle point where it's about it's very quick. So it just shows um, as a flashing bunch of LEDs, right? So this is what I'm showing here, and the layout that I'm using is I've already shared in my repository. Um, you can go and read these, but basically we're gonna follow these instructions and this one. Um, for the LED is much simpler because you can import the configuration, the profile, directly in SimHub, while the OLED is a bit more convoluted. Um, I don't know why there's no easy way to achieve it, but it's not that hard. It's just a little bit more convoluted. So for the first step is that we have to download the latest release here. So it's going to contain the latest um, configurations. So I already downloaded for both the OLED and the LEDs. Let's extract those here. And as you can see, we pretty much have the same setup as the same folder structure as here. So we just literally downloaded what's here. And another way to do this is literally going to the actual profile that you want to download and potentially either save link as or open it and copy the contents of this and save it, as this file in your computer. But let's say, we're gonna do it with the full download. So now that you have that, you can open SimHub, go to the Arduino tab, go to the RGB LEDs, and from here you can have a random profile here. It doesn't matter. You can go to the profile manager and import a profile. Go to downloads, go to this one here, and this is just what we just downloaded. Go to RGB LEDs and pick for the specific one that we have that I'm showing in the layout. It's this one, RPM 80 to 100 with neutral. When you're in neutral, it flashes because so when you're driving a sequential transmission and you are too eager going down the the gears, you can reach neutral, so it flashes if you're in neutral. Um, but anyway, so here we are. We just imported the profile. You can go ahead and load it, and now the effects are imported individually. This is going to this is going to have a For some reason, LED 7290. Okay, let's see how it behaves. Let's open data. Yeah, it seems like we have a red. Oh yeah, I remember. It's a red sweep, and as soon as it reaches the red line, it turns to white and flashing. So that's what you will achieve. And I believe I can. I don't think I can simulate the gear for some reason. That doesn't work. Um, maybe it's lower. No, it doesn't work. But anyway, that will work while you're in the game. I believe that's a bug on the game. Um, I believe this is not working properly. But anyway, this is the profile that I'm using there. Now for the OLED, we have to follow these steps. So basically, we have to go to the SimHub where you install SimHub. You're gonna find an OLED full OLED template, um, which is used for OLED screens, and there's a similar one for LCDs. But anyway, you need to make you don't need to make a copy, but I recommend making a copy somewhere because if you can that way you can mess around with certain things and not worry about what's happening. But we're gonna paste the files inside the OLED in game. It's actually OLED template, I believe. In game, yeah, it's just a mistake. Inside the in-game templates, we're gonna paste the layout that we have. We need to rename it in such way that we have a number underscore and then something that defines it. It's not a requirement, but it's a convention, so that if that's the default layout that you want to have, it's the first one it's loaded. Otherwise, you need to configure you need to configure a button or something to go to the next layout or a specific one. So and using control and events, you can move up or down depend on with multiple layouts. But let's say we want to update the default one, right? So following these steps, we need to go to the folder that we just downloaded. We have in game. Oh yeah, when I back when I was talking about the mistake, no, it's not a mistake. It's making reference to the download here. But anyway, the template or the layout that I use was this one. It's showing gear, speed, and the throttle and brake bars. So we are gonna copy that. We're gonna go to C, program files, then SimHub, then OLED template. As you can see, I copied the original one already. Then in game, and then we're gonna paste this. Seems like I already have it there, but that's fine. We can replace it. And it's here now, right? So if I have multiple here where I've been experimenting, but essentially I have a default one. Let's say we don't want to make that the default anymore. We make it that. We rename it with any other name, doesn't matter. And then we do this, and then we rename this default. Now SimHub will pick this as the default and will show it. In case you and now you're maybe restart SimHub and it'll be shown on your meter. Also, make sure if you have multiple devices to have your meter at the top, so that the RGB LEDs count. Like the layout is only made for the meter to be on the first slot here. There are reasons for that, but I won't go in into details. But anyway, now your OLED screen should be showing the new layout when you are in game. It won't show it before you enter the game. Not necessarily the game. You need to go all the way where you're driving. That's where it'll be shown. Um, I think that's where what it'll be shown. I don't think it will show. It'll be shown on when you just open the game. But if you want to manage multiple devices, I'm sorry, multiple layouts, you're gonna have to configure something here so that it switches to the next screen. Um, Here, what you do is create mappings between the buttons and actions that you can do in your dashboard, I guess. That's how it calls it. To create a mapping to go, to the next or previous one, you need if your meter has buttons, you can open this screen, new mapping, click here, and then you're gonna press one of the buttons in your meter on the back, and as you can see, when I tap the button, it says additional buttons to one, and then one or the other, right? Um, you can pick one. If just make sure it works. You can press both, but you can cancel this and create, come in again and then just tap the actual one that you want to use. Uh, Leave it selected, and then here you're going to type OLED, and then it filters all of the actions that you can assign to the OLED for the OLED displays. And here you can either pick like one of the buttons goes to a specific layout. Like, as you can see, this is the one that we renamed there. This is the one that was there before. You can click, if you only want to use one or two layouts, you can assign the button, to be one or the other. But ideally, you're going to select previous or next. You can do that, and while you're in game, you're going to be able to switch back and forth. Assign those with a short press. You can do that with a short press or a long press. And for instance, I assigned previous screen, next screen with short presses, and with long presses, I can navigate to the next LED layout or the previous LED layout. That's just my preference, but those are not needed. This is just a fancy thing. But yeah, that's the way you configure you import those files that I already created. Feel free to modify them, tweak them, change the colors, feel free to go to the INI files in here and modify them as you wish. Like the originals exist in the repository, so no worries. And yeah, make it yours, configure it, love it, play with it, and enjoy it.